Um, I do not know what you mean by autonomy. If in the sense of autonomy means that he's on his own, distinct, independent, not subject to manipulation and control of anybody. I put it in a more jurisprudential context. By the word autonomy, local government is an entity recognized and set up by the Nigerian Constitution. In other words, it's a juristic person, the person who has a life of his own and created by the Constitution as a third tier of government. So by constitutional arrangement, local government in Nigeria is created or are created to be autonomy, to be run in accordance with the Constitution. But the problem we have is the propensities of Nigerian leaders, either at the federal or state, not to allow the local government to be run in the manner of autonomy as envisaged by the founding father of our Constitution. What do I mean? Local government as an autonomous arm of government cannot run itself. It must be run through human elements. And you call them the chairman of the local government. Now, this chairman of the local government, by the provisions of Nigeria Constitution, ought to be in power through what is called democratic processes. And when you talk about democracy, it means that in coming to power, they drive their sovereignty, their authority, their legitimacy from the people. Now, in several instances, and I have said it and I'm saying it here with profound respect, what we seem to be running in Nigeria as of today is civilian government devoid of the nascent principles of democracy, which means that in a democratic system, as defined by President Abraham Lincoln, it is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But in our context, it appears to me that governors of all the political parties appears to be political emperors in their respective states. So much so that when you see even what appears to be local government election, no other political party can win even a councillor seat. It's only in infinitesimal number of places that you can see that. In other words, it is because of our attitude as a people and as Nigerians that we have chosen to engage in what I call constitutional sacrilege, ignoring our constitution to the extent that we rule by the whims and caprices of those who force themselves on us, that we are seeing what we are seeing. I know, and it is a fact, and I'm sure the chairman of Algon will be nationalistically and patriotically enough to admit that most chairmen of local governments are forced to sign that certain amount of money has been given to them, whereas in reality, what is given to them is not even enough for purposes of running the local government. That is why the autonomy of local government has been strangulated by the selfish, primordial partisan interests of our political class. And unless we fix our character and our conduct as a people, there is nothing we can do than to keep lamenting. As far back as sometimes in 2007, the Nigerian Supreme Court and a series of cases that had come before the court had declared that it's unconstitutional to have caretaker. But on daily basis, our governors and our political leaders are doing and appointing caretaker with such audacity of arrogance in total defiance to Nigerian Constitution, Section 7 in particular, that they The local government, local government by democratically elected system is guaranteed under the Nigerian Constitution. There was a running battle even from Oyo that was current. It came to Supreme Court. So my problem is not whether or not we have autonomy of local government or autonomy of state or autonomy of federal government. My problem are the drivers of this autonomy who appears to be so much interested in the fruits that is due or that are due to the local government for them to effectively and efficiently run as a grassroots development. How many culverts and markets have been constructed by local government? Look at the schedule to Nigerian Constitution. The functions of local government that, if maximally performed patriotically by those who have responsibility to doing so, you won't have the kind of slums and all the kind of filthy things you see in our various local governments. So the problem, in my estimation, therefore, is for us to decide and see whether as a people we are prepared to run an autonomous local government that is viable, that is people-oriented, that are not an avenue for pecuniary commercial interests of those in power. Because when they share the allocation of the local government to themselves, there are no consequences. How many local government chairmen, councillors, secretaries have been brought to book by those who have responsibility to doing so? And until we start seeing consequences being visited in our country, you won't see anything. And that's why, if you ask me, virtually everyone that comes to power in breach of Nigerian Constitution. Meanwhile, Section 1, subsection 1 of the Nigerian Constitution say the Nigerian Constitution is supreme, and anything that is done contrary to the provisions of Constitution in subsection 3 is null and void. How many of our electoral process that defile constitutional due process have been nullified by those who have responsibility of doing so? And so we should stop playing lip service and political psychophancy to issue of autonomy. Local government in law are autonomy, but the operators of the local government have strangulated and struggled the autonomy of the local government. That's our problem.
Okay.